Hi, I'm Rhea Resendez, and I'm a part of Anakbayan, Manitoba, a nationally democratic Filipino youth organization. I'm feeling very upset. It's terrible that such a momentous day ended in such tragedy. That was a celebration. Lapu Lapu Day was for the Filipino community to come together and celebrate our history of resistance to colonialism. And for it to end that way is very disheartening.
My name is Anna Ilagan, and I'm a member of Anakbayan, Manitoba, which is a Filipino youth organization. Well, I was really in shock and also angry that something like this could happen, especially at an important celebration of Filipino culture and heritage. And as a community organizer myself, I value having spaces like this in the community where we can celebrate and gather with family and friends. And for something like this to happen at such a space is very incomprehensible. And I'm very sad and I feel really hurt for the victims' families and friends.
Having this happen to the Filipino community, what does this change for you?
I think in the end, it doesn't change anything. In the long run, we are resilient. The Filipino community has banded together after times of tragedy, time and time again, and I believe in the power of our community to come together and to lift each other up.
It's important, in light of this tragedy, that we hold our community members closer. It's important to continue to demand a full and thorough investigation from the relevant authorities and continue asking the questions: how could something like this happen? What could have authorities done to prevent this from happening anywhere in Canada? And right now, the most tangible thing that our community can do is to come together and collectively, process this immense trauma that we're feeling in light of this tragedy. And continue to organize, so we can show up to directly support the victims, families, and friends who are hurting right now.
I think most importantly, this is a time for us to come together and to make sure that everyone is feeling supported, whether people were directly impacted or just as all families of the Filipino community, being able to help our kababayan, very, very important. So we've been talking about, potentially having vigils or having community events. Tomorrow there will be a vigil happening at the PCCM, the Philippine Canadian Cultural Center, and I definitely recommend, if you are feeling affected, that would be a great place to find support.
We're trying to make sense of what's happened, and a lot of my friends and community members in general are heartbroken over what has happened. And I see, in social media, videos and photos from the event where like families were celebrating, there were children, and it's hard to make sense of it. But definitely the conversations right now is to continue to be in community.
Well, I have some family in Vancouver, so when I heard, I reached out just to check in, and it's very scary. Some of my family, they actually were at the festival. They had left before the attack happened, but even just knowing that this momentous day, like so many people were there. I saw the videos and the pictures on social media. It looked like such a happy time, and for all of this to happen.
Lapu Lapu was actually a chieftain in the 1500s who fought against Spanish colonization in the Philippines. So he's a very important symbol of our history and our culture, as he represents, Filipino strength and Filipino resilience. The Lapu Lapu Day Festival was a direct result of the Filipino community in British Columbia, their efforts in making this recognized by the government. This was obviously a very important event to highlight the contributions of our community to the larger Canadian fabric of society. And to have something so tragic happen is just really sad and heartbreaking. And I hope as we deal with the aftermath of this tragedy that we can come out stronger.
The most important thing is we band together as a community. When events like this happen, it's incredibly, distressing. It can be very isolating, and that's kind of the point of, when someone is doing something like this. Of course, there's the people that are directly affected, but it has a much greater impact in the surrounding community. So we need to ensure that we're not letting that happen. Very important to make sure that you're checking on your friends, checking on your family, checking on anyone that you know might be affected.